the ambiance and the people almost warming her spirit and her mood. $4. $10 for a 3-pack of mixed scents. The young woman, who looked barely out of her teens, had short, pixie-ish chestnut hair and sad, soulful eyes that were large and dark and looked veiled with sorrow. She set down the scoop, readjusted the basket. Then she picked up a piece of cranberry and aloe oil that was tied with red ribbon. She didn't speak again. Wincing at the snub, Annie wondered if she'd ever learn not to take the actions of strangers personally. As hard as it is for us to believe, not everyone will love you or your work. Her old college pal, her best friend forever, Murphy, had once told her, after a tepid review of one of Annie's books. Forget about them. They're pond scum anyway. Annie Sutton! Startled to hear her name, she quickly spun back to the present. Only a few people knew she now lived on the island. Fewer knew who she was, or that she had a backlist of best-selling mystery novels. She turned from the ill-mannered young woman and politely asked, "Yes?" The caller's hair was as silver as the foil bells made by the first graders that the custodian had hung from the gymnasium rafters. She wore a smart wool coat that fit her nicely, a Calvin Klein or Michael Kors. Her well-manicured fingernails were painted red and matched her lipstick. Her purse might have been a Birkin bag, a real one, not a knockoff. She'd most likely arrived that morning on the Grey Lady, the special holiday shopping ferry that had come from Cape Cod straight into Edgartown for the festive weekend. "You're Annie Sutton? The writer?" Annie's cheeks turned the same shade as her beach roses and cream. "Guilty." An often-rehearsed, engaging grin sprang to her mouth. She hoped it was convincing. The woman's eyes grazed the table. "And now you're a soap maker?" "Just a hobby." "Well, goodness, I hope so. When's your next book coming out?" "That," Annie wanted to reply, "is a good question." But she could hardly say she was reassessing her life, that she had lost her inspiration to write, that she was now on a healing sabbatical. If the news ever went viral, Trish, her patient yet perfectionist editor, would never forgive her. "Soon," she said, aware that several browsers at her table had shifted their focus from her products onto her, and that other shoppers were drifting her way. In her peripheral vision, she noticed that the young mother remained standing, silent, her head slightly cocked as if she were listening. "Actually," Annie continued, shaking off silly discomfort, "I'm still working on it. It's the first book in a new mystery series." "Well, hurry up. Your readers are dying to read it." The woman put a hand to her mouth and giggled. "Yes, we're dying to read your next mystery. That's a pun. Get it?" Annie nodded and said she did. The woman picked up 9 3-bar sets and plunked them down in front of Annie without checking the scents. "I'll take these. The ladies in my book group will adore them. Will you sign the labels?" She juggled her big purse and pulled out a credit card. Annie had pierced a small hole for the ribbon on each oval-shaped paper label, which had an illustration of the island, the name of the flowers or herbs she had added, and a frilly typeface that read, "Soaps by Sutton." There was no blank space for a signature. Embarrassed, she turned over each label and penned, "Happy Holidays, Annie Sutton." It hadn't occurred to her that Annie the soap maker would be outed at the fair, that she'd be asked to dish out her autograph. "I love your books, too," another voice called out. "Will you sign a bar of soap for me?" "Me, too." "Me, 3." The requests shot out from a line now swollen.